Yeah. 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 Memories. Memories. Yeah. Memories. Memories.
It's a brand new season of CGL.
This is just an absolute treat. These players are so damn good.
The talent on these teams is undeniable. Everybody on every team right now is making plays.
It's going to be an exciting start to the season, and it'll just get better from here on out.
whole new era Overwatch esports. So much exciting action is happening here on CGL that you do not want to miss. Look who's starting it all off. It's Raven.
No one necessarily figure out what is the right way to go just yet.
What a nice roll through from Peyton. It's just going to solidify everything for Mythos.
Does come back, and Arsario gets the mech, but I don't need a mech. I'll kill 4 anyway.
This is just a highlight reel for Arsario right now.
They're making a statement in the EU Masters here.
This patch is still incredibly fresh. There's so much to learn, so much to change about the way we play the game.
SKT, but the shatter is colossal.
Let's get it going.
Trades keep coming through. Laura, is he going to be able to find these shots true?
Inu on the overclock with 2.
Here comes an Anvil immediately comes back like fine skills, slicing and dicing their way through 2-3, so back and forth.
All right, good evening, everybody. I'm the white wall right now. That'll be fixed in a second, but welcome back to the CGL playoffs. We've got another matchup here in our NA Diamond Tier. Actually, the winners finals of the Diamond Tier is going to be Cogent, Hog and Ball Torture versus IUPUI Bastion OF. I'm joined by Megalast for this match. Megalast, you ready to get this going?
Absolutely. I was excited to jump onto this game purely because it's gonna be so interesting, right? Hog and Ball Torture, they haven't dropped a map. Not in the mid-season, not in the regular season, not in their first playoff game, right? This team is literally flawless here in the Diamond Division, but Bastion only fans, you know, coming out of the regular season wasn't the nicest performances from them, but they got it done. They got here to the postseason, and they took a massive upset victory over Mythos Griffins in a very dominant fashion. So I'm wondering if they have this upset potential in them once again, but I mean, there's no bigger target here in the NA Diamond side than Hog and Ball Torture.
Yeah, and I mean, full stop. There's a reason that target is as big as it is, because it's big. I cannot understate how dominant Cogent has been throughout this season 13. I mean, like you said, they're looking down the barrel of a golden season, not a golden stage, not a golden tournament, a golden season. Like, I don't know how many times that has happened before in CGL, if it's ever happened before in CGL, but this team right here, CJ Cool, Fafita, Snippy, EXO, and Disero, I mean, they're looking to finish it up right here, or they're looking to continue their dominance right here, right now.
Yeah, exactly. You know, not a ton of teams here in the Diamond Division, so winner is going to be looking at that grand finals, you know, securing the slot there. Of course, on the other side of things, you know, Hog and Ball Torch, as much as we want to hype them up, Bastion only fans, they're here. They got a massive upset last week. Shy, Potatoizer, you know, bringing on that DPS line, Spotted Squid on your tank, and of course Lupin and Teddy rocking those supports. I mean, these guys were able to strike hard against the Mythos Griffins that everybody thought was the team that could contend with, you know, Hog and Ball at the top. So it really comes down to just having this momentum behind you, and it could be that upswing, but I mean, we really can't understand. Like, I feel like we're over enunciating it, but I mean, Fletch, it really is going to be David versus Goliath right now.
Yeah. I mean, IUPUI, like you said, didn't have the best, like, regular season. I don't actually, let's see here.
4-4.
4-4, you know, record. average 100, or, you know, 500. They won half their games, lost half their games. You know, not the worst team, certainly not the best team, but I mean, they're fighting for top. They're already top 3. Like, they're top 3 in Diamond Tier right now, and you know, it doesn't really matter what happens when during the regular season, right? It's if you get hot at the right time, you can completely wipe your regular season away. And there's no bigger chance for IUPUI to prove themselves than right here against Cogent.
Yeah, absolutely. And thinking of this series and how it's going to go, our first map is not actually the ever-present Nepal that a lot of people have been going to. No, it's actually going to be a Busan selection, I believe, coming through from Hog and Ball Torture. Busan, very interesting map, right? It's not the first thing that has come to mind all too often, but these points, they provide, you know, the opportunity to get a little bit creative, a little bit interesting with the comps and styles that you want to play, right? The one thing I do expect, regardless of composition, is there's going to be a massive amount of aggression coming out from Cogent, simply because, you know, they're playing with house money. They know they have the confidence behind them, and it's going to be on IUPUI to sort of stand up to that, bring themselves toe-to-toe with these, you know, absolute great players towering above them. These spawn compositions are crazy, for lack of a better word. Cogent, they're hovering over the Orisa, but they have... Okay, there we are. Kiriko Lucio feels a lot more sane than that Mercy pick, but the double explosions, the Junkrat and the Pharah, really just going to be putting in tons and tons of spam damage. Meanwhile, IUPUI, they're going to start out on the Sigma with double hit scan, almost like they knew this Pharah was coming, and we'll have to see if this is going to pay dividends for them to have the counter pick out of the gate.
All right, here you see Fafita putting these rockets to work right now. The engagement on it to IUPUI. It's looking good so far. The Lucio very low, but Fafita has the wings clipped early. So down with the Pharah as Potatoizer and Spotted Squid continue to try and, you know, pull this fight out. You know, they've got the numbers, and as Cogent realizes this, they're going to try and disengage, and it will be CJ Cool receiving a mouthful of Helix Rocket there. That puts IUPUI in front. They're gonna cap first.
Yep, they're going to cap first here, and it's going to probably prompt some swaps from the side of Cogent. You're already seeing the Ashe in play here. Sticking on the Junkrat is going to be sort of the question mark here if you really want to do it. And it seems like they're just going to opt into more and more of that spam damage here. But so now it's going to come down to Shy and Potatoizer taking the proper angles in this matchup to sort of keep their advantage.
All right, Snippy wants to get in there really quick. Jumps in, takes a lot of damage on a rock, and is playing safe around the corners, which, you know, good call there, because Snippy could have died very quickly. Now getting engaged, runs again onto Potatoizer, who receives a grenade there from CJ Cool, cleaned up by Snippy, who is continuing to output so much damage on this Winston, able to zap Lupin down, and everybody is going down for the side of IUPUI. Cogent, they're going to be able to get this flip at 40%.
Yep, after a nice little comp swap, it is just going to be the rest of, you know, IUPUI being forced to be sent back to the spawn rooms here. And we do have a little bit of a tech snafu happening, but I think...
Oh, they used Riptire.
They used...
Yeah, alright, well, we had a technical snafu on our side. Y'all should have seen it, but the Riptire from CJ Cool obviously got nothing. But Snippy's Primal Rage going to do the opposite. They're able to trade Lupin, though, which is very good, seeing as how the trade was on to Snippy. And with this Kitsune Rush, EXO wants to flip the fight. They're able to take down Potatoizer, but there's just not much else to be said about this, especially when Shy is burning everything to the ground.
Yeah, and so that's going to be a good fight for Bastion OnlyFans to be able to get in here on a solid engage, and as long as they're able to, you know, keep in control of the point here and continue that percentage building, they have tons of ults heading into the next fight, but, you know, Cogent, they're going to be able to come in here a little bit aggressive, playing almost with house money.
Alright, 2 ultimates out early from IUPUI. Tactical Visor through this amplification matrix. Not going to find anything with either, as Cogent very smartly kites the damage. Now, Immortality Field is out early as Potatoizer tries to put the damage out. Fafita throws Bob down. Picking up EXO is Spotted Squid. They're able to get EXO down with that Gravitic Flux. The only pick coming through for Cogent will be on a Potatoizer, but CJ Cool decided that this fight is still Cogent's to win. Taking a lot of damage, and I mean, it's a 2 versus 2 here. Disero and Fafita left alive, and both of them are going to be able to put Spotted Squid down. And as Snippy returns to this fight, it's going to go over to Cogent.
Yeah, a beautiful fight from Cogent, but, you know, IUPUI, they were able to get so much percentage built up onto this point here. And so now they're going to just keep it pushing and trying to get back into this fight. They're going to have a Riptire. But that's pretty much the only main tool they're going to have unless Snippy can build up to this Primal Rage. It's going to be intense.
All right, here we go. Snippy engages on into Spotted Squid, but Teddy Graham not able to get away in time. Tased down by the Winston, and Lupin not able to get away. The Primal Rage almost there, but Snippy not able to press the button to use it now. The Riptide from CJ Cool has to be bigger than the last time, and it won't. Spotted Squid able to bring that one out. Now the sound barrier to try and keep Spotted Squid alive. It's doing so for the time being, but without that, the shield, I mean, there's just nothing Spotted Squid can do. Fafita trying to find something, but it's 2 for 2 here. Snippy returning to the fight, still has the Primal Rage ready to go, and we are in last fight. They need to knock this Immortality Field out, and they do. And I mean, the Primal Rage from Snippy is going to be good enough to help take down Potatoizer. Nothing to be had from this amplification matrix, especially as Lupin is still being pressured by Snippy. Teddy Graham was the only one on the point, and there is no more fight left in IUPUI here on this point. It'll go over to Cogent.
Yeah, good round though from, IUPUI, but unfortunately they could not secure it in the end. That dive composition, it was just too powerful, right? Cogent was just going a little bit faster than they could really react to, and, beautiful adaptations, right? It was sort of the counter picking back and forth, first countering the Pharah and things of that nature. So Hog and Ball Torture now with 1 round already on the board, heading on into the mecha base, and with the roofs, you're not going to have to worry about a far or anything like that, but we're going to get a little more close quarters and potentially even see this sort of brawl come out with the Orisa back in play.
All right, here we go. Small comp switches for both sides, but I guess we'll see what's going to come out here as we get into the mecha base. CJ Cool continuing to spam as Snippy gets up into the face, able to throw Spotted Squid out of the Immortality Field, and in the trap goes Potatoizer, in the mixer goes the Potatoes. This is going to be a pretty good fight here for Cogent Hog and Ball Torture as they bring out this fight early, and they're going to be able to get the first flip on Mega Base. All right. It was just that Snippy ran down the Sigma, able to push them off the high ground and not going to be able to protect anything there. Spotted Squid goes over to the Orisa here as we get into this next fight. You see IUPUI, they're coming from the low ground, now rotating over to the high ground. Do they expect it for Cogent? They don't, but they're able to get the wall up. Not going to be much of a wall there as all 5 players are on the other side, but Fafita trying to find something with these icicles, not quite able to do so. You see Shy trying to put the Hellfire shotguns to good use, able to help take down Disero, and 40% is going to be the mark for Cogent here. Lost a couple players early, so IUPUI should be able to bring this fight out here.
Yeah, and I mean, with this fight going in their favor here, it's not as pretty though.
Oh, yeah. Snippy going to get caught out here. And, I mean, they're able to get a trade. Teddy Graham is going to go down in turn for Snippy. And Cogent, they just don't want to give this up yet. They know that Disero is out there as Shy almost has the Death Blossom ready to go, but may not even need it. Popping the Blizzard is Fafita, able to take down Potatoizer, but did not know that Teddy Graham was also frozen up there. And IUPUI are going to be able to stabilize, maybe? I mean, this Orisa's very low, and Snippy doesn't seem to think that this fight is losable, but it is. Potatoizer and Shy clean it up, and it will be IUPUI taking a breath.
Yeah, I mean, a very deep breath. They definitely had that one in a losable situation, but again, those DPS for IUPUI, they're the ones that always have to keep coming up big over and over again. Heading into the next fight, you're going to worry about this Riptire potentially from CJ being another devastating strike, but IUPUI has tons of ults to their name.
All right, high ground control for IUPUI. They've got, yeah, like you said, so many ultimates ready to go, and CJ Cool has no cool here. Gonna try and get it immediately and blows Shy into next week. So without that Reaper, IUPUI are going to get run down. There's going to be a sound barrier, not able to save Lupin here, but right now Cogent are going to be able to take this flip and take this fight, and more than likely to flip here very, very soon.
Yeah, and they're taking it with so few resources, right? They came into that with a heavy ult disadvantage, but they still made it work for them in things of that nature. So it's going to be another situation here where IUPUI, they're going to have to find a way to crawl back into this one. And I mean, at least they got 91%, right? So you're in a situation where you win one fight, that should be enough for you to get this round.
All right, wall not going to be quite good enough. Fafita throws out the Blizzard, not going to find a target, but the Terra Surge will. Spotted Squid for 2, Potatoizer for 2. This is going to be a great fight, if a little bit expensive for IUPUI.
Yeah, but again, that one fight might be all you need. You're seeing the stall picks already come out here for Cogent, and they're going to have to try to get to this point and sort of cycle contest just to get everybody back into it.
They're going to get the touch here, and Potatoizer very, very low, able to stay alive, and will be able to get the job done. The Terra Surge is out, but with that Immortality Field, Snippy found 2 with the Terra Surge? It doesn't matter. IUPUI are going to take Mega Base, but that was a little bit silly.
Yeah, unfortunate that the Orisa, I mean, you know, Sippy had no reason to not just hold that charge there until the bitter end, but IUPUI, you know, they're taking rounds, they're taking good fights against Cogent, and they're showing that this team is mortal. They are beatable at points and pieces, but you still have a whole nother round before you can be the first team to take a map off of them. And I promise you, Cogent's going to come back into this one with everything they've got, right? They're going to try to match you on that Reaper by the look of it, and, you know, potentially even some blinks in here. Actually, back over to the Pharah, interestingly enough, so it's going to be just solo on Potatoizer to take that Pharah out of the sky before they can wreak too much havoc.
All right, comfortable on the dive. Cogent certainly is. So we will see if this is going to be what puts IUPUI down here. Engagement comes through. Lupin very low, and I mean, so was Shy. Had to use the Wraith form early. Fafita going to work from this high ground, but Cogent have already got 2 picks here. And yeah, Fafita dealing too much damage for IUPUI to ignore, and first flip will be Cogent's.
Yeah, I mean, that Pharah is just an absolute menace when you're not expecting it. Those rockets, they rain in, and that's exactly what you need, right? It doesn't even necessarily have to get these flashy final blows that you're already seeing. It just is the matter of, you know, doing that sort of insane damage to a target that's not expecting it. And that's the exact value that you're seeing from the side of Cogent.
All right, IUPUI trying to adapt to fight this Pharah with the Echoes, so we'll see what they can do here as Fafita continues to put out insane amounts of damage, insane direct shots. The damage followed up on by Exo to take down Teddygram, and right now IUPUI, they're just so hesitant to walk out of this choke point. They used the Immortality Field, but that's going to be their go button without Fafita on the field. Right now IUPUI are happy to take this into the faces of Cogent early. Shy jumped on by the frog there. Dizero able to take out the flyer, and as this fight continues, Cogent are popping these ultimates. They're going to say, hey, we know that we've lost a couple, but we're more than happy to take these fights with our ult because we think that we are better. And I mean, right now they're proving their case at the very least a little bit, able to bring this fight out from nothing.
Yeah, and with that solid fight win here, it's going to be only 18% given up over to IUPUI, but, you know, the downside being, as you said, Fletch, they had to invest some ults, their Coalescence, their Primal Rage, things of that nature, and IUPUI is coming into this with everything in the kitchen sink, just shy of, well, Shy's ultimate. But, I mean, as long as IUPUI invest accordingly here, they don't have to overcommit all too heavy, they should be able to get a good fight win here.
All right, able to push Spotted Squid back a little bit at the very least, and they know that Snippy's alone, so they're going to turn around and look at this Winston, but Shy very, very low, and without that Immortality Field, Spotted Squid is just caught out. Too far forward, all alone, and with the sound barrier from Dizero, it's going to be able to push IUPUI back into their own spawn. This is last fight territory for Cogent.
Yeah, and they've got to be able to feel good about themselves winning this one out. And yeah.
Yeah, Deadeye from Fafita, Death Blossom from CJ, cool, and it will be desperation touches for Bastion OnlyFans here. Shy not able to get there to get into the ice block to keep overtime rolling, but I mean, IUPUI, they put up a hell of a fight on Busan, but Cogent, they're just that little bit stronger.
Yeah, I mean, they're showing why they are so good right now. Those first 2 rounds bit back and forth, but they sort of put themselves in the driver's seat back onto the dive composition there on downtown, and you see why exactly they are this undefeated squad right now. But there is holes in the armor. There are places to try to get into this for IUPUI, but obviously easier said than done.
I think it's worth noting that Cogent is also still wearing training weights. They're not on their main roles. Nobody on that team is playing the role that they are traditionally known for. Disaro, one of the most dominant tank players in NA Diamond history, 4 championships in CGL. That's interesting. But yeah, on support right now, right? I mean, right now, Cogent, they think that they can play around with their food, and so far throughout the playoffs, because I watched their last match, they haven't had to try that hard yet. They haven't had to go over to their main roles to try and win games just yet, because nobody has proven to them that they can stand up to them on their off roles.
Yeah, no, it is super difficult. Just being perfectly honest, we're having a little bit of a tech snafu, so we're going to go to a super short break. Make sure you stick around on the other side of it for the rest of this game. But yeah, just really quick break. Promise.
Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side. My love, you say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose.
welcome back, everybody. Hopefully the technical snafu is done and dusted. But moving into our second map, IUPUI has selected Eichenwald, and, you know, they looked fine. They looked good on Busan. They had their strong moments and, you know, took a round and made a round, and the first one very, very close. So I think that they do have the tools to be able to at least stand up to Cogent here, if not win a whole map, you know? That's more than anybody else can say. And I think that they can definitely do it.
Yeah, this race has to happen very slowly. You know, step one, take a map, right? Nobody's been able to do that yet. And if you could strike blood there, then you can start worrying about the follow-up maps to win the series. But, you know, it's an interesting predicament, right? The pick of Eichenwald is going to be an interesting one here. As you're seeing, you know, there's so many different variables, so many different compositions you can play. You know, you have the high ground once you get onto second, third, you get to, you know, a little bit more back towards Brawl, but that first point is always ever interesting, right? That's where the Junkrats, the Torbjorns, the Sigmas, all that spam damage everybody knows and loves can really sort of find its value. So it'll be interesting to see exactly what these teams choose to opt in for here.
Yeah, and I think, you know, barring Cogent going back to their main roles, the only, you know, the round that they took on Busan, that would be IUPUI, it was the Orisa mirror. I mean, we're gonna see the okay, it wasn't the Orisa mirror. I'm stupid and an idiot and dumb. They were playing the Sigma still, but when Cogent was on the Orisa was when IUPUI looked their best. It was the times where they were playing the dive that IUPUI slowed down and wasn't really able to get away with, you know, the plays that they were making. But when they were playing against the Orisa, they were able to stabilize, stay out of the range of the characters that Cogent were playing, and they won the round. And so I'm interested to see here, can IUPUI keep that up?
Yeah, and that's going to be sort of the question, right? But IUPUI, they've been favoring this style of composition with the Sigma here, and I don't even necessarily blame them, right? It just feels like they're more comfortable on it, so especially even, you know, potentially getting their supports onto something they're more comfortable with. Shy catching a spear to the chest from Snippy, but it's just going to be a very interesting sort of spam back and forth here in the main.
Yeah, they're able to save Teddy Graham there. The body block very, very strong. Now Shy wants to engage, sees the Mercy, not quite able to get the job done there, has very, very low HP, but with Teddy Graham and Potatoizer dead, I mean, there's just nothing IUPUI can do here.
Yeah, and so now they're reeling back to the spawn rooms for their first offensive attack, and they got to figure out exactly what to do here. But that is a good start, right? Killing an overextended Junkrat means that Cogent is now going to be short-handed heading into this next fight, and there's no way that the Mercy's going to be able to get over there to get a res off in time.
Right, here we go. They're just going to walk past the choke with the Lucio speed boost. A very, very strong plan indeed as they get around, but with Snippy being behind IUPUI, there's just, I mean, they just lose Teddy Graham early. And without that speed boost, they have no...
Okay, this is disrespectful. Disrespectful. He got two from the freaking point.
The Riptire comes in and they don't find anything with it. But Potatoizer finds himself, but without CJ Cool on the point to keep this fight going, it's a 2 versus 3, and IUPUI, more than likely here, they're going to be able to get this flip, or get the cap anyway. Oh my god.
I mean, at least the disrespect was punished, right? You're seeing that they were able to get the point with CJ finally dying there. Snippy charging out and using Finisher. This is just disrespect.
Yeah, I mean, they're just walking at IUPUI. Snippy pops a Terra Surge. Surely this is going to be a switch, right?
That would be my guess, right? Okay. Is that we're gonna see some swap ups here from Cogent, you know, off of that spam. Yeah, Snippy's already over to the Winston. You're probably sticking on the Mercy purely for Valkyrie at the moment, but this Bob will actually be the initiation tool.
Yeah, Bob comes out, and They're going to be able to get into this castle for the time being, and you see Snippy continues to do so much damage on this Winston. I mean, just ripping through with the help of the Kitsune Rush. 3 for Snippy, and IUPUI falter at the choke. And okay, all right.
Okay, I have an odd feeling that Cogent is feeling themselves a little bit, you know? But look at the mistakes made there. You invested every ultimate in the kitchen sink into that one. It'll actually be EXO making the swap over onto the Ana, so it will be interesting to see exactly how this plays out without a Kiriko in tow. You're sticking with the pocket for that Ashe, and now it's just going to be Snippy once again diving.
Oh, here we go. Attack visor out from Potatoizer as IUPUI tries to engage. Spotted Squid able to sidestep the sleep dart here, and for the second time this map, Snippy's off the map. So going to be a good pick there. It will be traded out, and now they know that the Torbjorn is back here, but CJ Cool just continues to be not where he should be, but finding picks regardless.
Like, look at this. He's just standing behind them. And, like,
he's just looking at me menacingly. Like, what is this? What is happening? Ah! I'm gonna lose my mind. Can he find another? Fafita's the one that cleans up Teddy Graham, but the flank Torb is just finding infinite value, never-ending value.
Yeah, it's gone from a flanker Torb to now this Torb is the front line from CJ here. Bastion, they've really got to, you know, collect themselves here to get some proper assault going here onto point B. And that's a good start.
All right. So now the tank is CJ Cool here. They're able to cancel out the resurrection and have to use the sound barrier to get away from the molten core. And Teddy Graham wants the smoke, but CJ Cool is more than happy to give it out. Does end up getting traded. Disro following shortly, but ooh, can they find this soldier? Yep, Fafita. Great shots, but IUPUI will continue their push. Oh my god.
Yeah.
No shot. That's not real! It's not real!
This Ashe is just still raining damage from above. No contest, no nothing is coming up to them. You're seeing Teddy Graham try to get creative, find a way up there, but it seems as though it was all for naught here as, oh my gosh, this fight is just, it's so unbelievably chaotic in so many ways, and this is just one of the things about Cogent, right, is they're just, well, they obviously have, you know, a feeling that their mechanics are a little bit sounder, a little bit stronger. They're not afraid to do exactly what they want for all of these fights, right? They can just go in and almost int them all.
Snippy jumps on top of Lupin and then pops the Primal Rage, has the Mercy Pocket ready to go, but not able to escape Shy's Hellfire shotguns. Resurrection does not hit the field now. The Gravitic Flux able to take down Fafita, and finally, at 50 seconds, they're going to be able to stabilize, and they're going to get close to capping here.
Yeah. Easier said than done, obviously, but they have, you know, the Death Blossom, the Tactical Visor in tow, as well as this Amplification Matrix.
God, where is CJ at? CJ again! I mean, jumps onto Teddy Graham now. The Reaper gonna come in there to help out, to trade, but I mean, in the front line with the nano boosted Winston, it's just too much damage for IUPUI to keep up with.
Yeah, and you know, it's all starting to fall by the wayside. 10 seconds left. It's gonna come down to probably just a stagger touch from Potatoizer. If they can cycle these touches, potentially you get in with Shy's Death Blossom, but look at CJ just standing, waiting.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a touch from Potatoizer as CJ Cool busts a move and takes down Potatoizer anyway. I mean, they know that they're the better team. I mean, IUPUI, they're having their moments where they make plays, but they're just confused. I think that they are just as confused as we are.
Yeah, I mean, and it's so hard to play against this sort of style, right? Because Cogent, their moves aren't making realistic sense. It's not, you know, something you can apply logic to easily. It's just, you know, they're going off, they're flanking on Torbjorn of all characters. Like, how do you properly predict this in any sort of manner? And when you turn to look at the Torb, then there's just a Winston with a nano in your face, or, you know, an Ashe raining down damage with a Mercy pocket to boot. And I mean, it just gets so confusing. What do you do? Where do you go? But, you know, IUPUI, they got some solid fights in there, right? It wasn't just a complete stomp one way. And now they have something to hold. Obviously, it is going to be difficult for them, but this sort of poke composition, it should fare well against what Cogent chooses to start out on here. It's going to come down to CJ on this Symmetra using the teleporter to close the distance.
Show it to me. Show it to me. Show it to me. Go up over the building. Go up over the building, Cogent.
Fun fact, that it doesn't work anymore. You can't Maywall up there. So there is a way to do it.
Blizzard hates fun!
There is a way to do it, but it requires a Lifeweaver platform to place the Maywall on. But I don't think
try it.
They're going to try it, but you can't place Maywall up there. You physically can't.
They can place a Maywall. Okay, so they throw it out. Yeah, it's not high enough. Can they get it? They can't.
Yeah.
Okay.
I respect the ambition.
Yeah, it was creative, but Blizzard hates fun, unfortunately, and you're not allowed to have that anymore. So it's just gonna be the regular old push for Cogent here, as Snippy has to throw up the shield, and they see the Symmetra. Yeah, I don't know where CJ Cool is at, but in the grave is probably the best answer for right now. Right now, Shy is more than happy to continue to put out this spam damage to try and figure something out, and Spotted Squid is getting carried into the spawn of Cogent here, and all alone is the Sigma. The swings cannot be blocked by the grasp, and they're going to be able to take out Spotted Squid, and they're just going to be able to walk in here and take down more. I mean, they're just dealing so much damage.
Yeah, and I mean, there's only a few members left here for IUPUI, so, I mean, when that Reinhardt gets aggressive, right, you really do have to punish it, otherwise it will just be the constant damage coming through. You're seeing, I love when players just decide, I'm going to max out the DPI switch and see what happens, and it results in little spins like that. But yeah, so now Cogent, they're getting the payload moving here. IUPUI, they're choosing not to make any swaps outside of Shy going over to the Widowmaker now. Potentially taking a Widow duel against CJ, but, you know, I don't know if I'd wish this upon anybody. CJ's been lethal with a Torb Hammer, so who knows what they could do on Widow.
But Shy, there won't be a Widow duel here, unfortunately. As you see, CJ Cool trying to get creative with the angles taken. Very restricted angle. So I doubt that CJ is going to be able to find much of anything, but I've said that a few times, I guess, or thought it anyway. But he continues to prove me wrong time after time. Fafita now jumping on to the Baptiste there. Lupin will go down, the victim of Fafita's rocket launcher, and going over there to help Snippy now, and Fafita continuing to find these direct shots, and I mean, shot after shot just goes in the body of people from IUPUI.
Yeah, and I mean, it is just more and more fights going their way. Now Cogent, they have every ultimate outside of that Echo duplicate online here as they're rounding the corner towards what should be the final fight. They have it all in their favor. It's going to be a Herculean effort from IUPUI to get a defensive win here.
Yeah, there is the barrage, able to take down one, and almost thrown off the map, but able to clean it up before it becomes an issue there. That tactical visor could have been big, but that'll do it for Eichenwald. Cogent moved to match point for a spot in the Diamond Grand Finals.
Yeah, it seems like they're just waiting for their destiny at this point. What's being promised to them. IUPUI, it's so odd, right? Busan was such a close map. They really were taking some solid fights, but they seem to have lost that head of steam, that momentum here on Eichenwald, and now they're going to have to try to bounce back for possibly the hardest reverse sweep of their entire lives.
Yeah, I mean, what else can you say except that there's a reason that Cogent is feared like they are in the Diamond tier, because they're clearly not taking this super seriously. This is quick play Overwatch that we're watching, and it's working, right? IUPUI, I mean, they're playing mechanically sound Overwatch, generally speaking, but overall, Cogent has just become so unpredictable right now that IUPUI, they're just like they're spun around. They don't know what's happening, and neither do I.
I'm gonna be real. Like I see how you're illustrating your point, but at the same time of that being cool, that was the lamest thing I've ever seen.
I know. Yeah.
But,
Yeah, that's me. That's me. I'm that.
Listen, honestly, but Fletch has it right. Like, exactly, you're all spun around, you're all topsy-turvy, but the best way to get rid of that topsy-turviness is to take a break, which we're going to do here. We normally do after map 2 anyway, so we're just going to get a quick little break and give the teams a little bit of reprieve before we head into map 3, so make sure you stick around for at least one more map.
Yeah. Yeah, we got one more. All right. See ya. All right, welcome back, everybody. I mean, what else can you say but Cogent is on the warpath. And even if they think, you know, that there is no warpath, the bodies that they've left behind them prove otherwise. They think they're just playing around, and there's a pile of bodies behind them.
I mean, yeah, and obviously, you know, they've dominated so far, right? There's no other words, there's no other way that we can phrase it, right? They literally have not dropped a map this season, and they're now one map away from qualifying for grand finals. And it's on IUPUI to sort of, you know, answer the call, right? You know, I got to watch them in their first round game. I got to watch them pull off a massive upset against Mythos Griffins, and just being honest, IUPUI, that same energy, that same confidence they played with there, it just seems to be lacking right now, and they're getting so caught off guard by Cogent, who, by all rights, if we're talking about like objective Overwatch, they're making like absolutely brainless mistakes, but there's no punishment coming through for them. You know, CJ was flanking on Torbjorn, right? That should be something where it's, hey guys, can we all turn on Torb real quick? That Torb should die.
I mean, not just flanking, but once they came back from spawn, CJ became the front line, became the tank, and continued to put out damage. So going into map number 3, IUPUI, they've just got to be able to, you know, catch their balance, basically, because they've been dizzy, and New Junk City, it's a fine place to do that, I think.
Yeah, interesting little pick for Flashpoint here. A lot of teams opt for Saravasa, but maybe if you're feeling a little bit more confident on the brawl, you can head to New Junk City. There is a substitution that occurred. It is on the side of Cogent. CJ is going over to support now. Potentially the flanking Torbjorn days are over. And meanwhile, it is going to be EXO replacing them on the DPS line. So just more role swap shenanigans for this team. And I didn't even know this was an angle you could see on New Junk City. Like, I'm mesmerized.
Megalast, just look up.
I'm too busy looking in front of me. Thank you very much. I'm trying to play the video game, just like both of these teams. We're running out on an exact mirror, whether they're aware of it or not. The Junker Queen, the Mei, the Reaper. This is going to be very fast, in-your-face style of compositions here. And I'm eager to see, now that we're on kind of an actual mirror, which team can fare better.
Here we go, where we always start. Gonna be Arena up first. They're trying to catch Fafita out of position. The wall not gonna be there to take down the Reaper. So Snippy still has this shout ready to go. The commanding shout gonna be important here in this fight with that speed boost. They hit the axe, find some damage, and Spotted Squid gonna find the back end of an icicle there as IUPUI fall on the Arena, and Cogent, Hog and Ball Torch are going to get the first flip here on New Junk City.
Yeah, and I feel like that was sort of a almost deer in headlights moment where IUPUI, they were like, oh, we got to go to point first, but they did just put themselves at such a disadvantage that damage could come in from above, and Cogent could sort of pick and choose their battles, wait for the engage to come through. But yeah, so now it is going to be another walk up here, and again, it's going to be about punishing this Reaper that you're seeing out of position.
Yeah, and a lot of damage being put out here by Snippy with the axe, with the knife, and Fafita has those shotguns ready and willing to put down anybody in their face. The coalescence from Disaro as the punctuation on this fight. Not looking good here for IUPUI.
Yeah, exactly. So now you're seeing, you know, that coalescence pushing everybody back to the spawn room. Already 70% for Cogent here. And it's just going to be a massive lurk here potential where they're going to be able to burst out potentially either with this Blizzard or Death Blossom and do tons and tons of damage. But it was accidentally red as IUPUI just heads underground.
Yeah, so they're going to be able to get the touch, but with this Blizzard coming out from EXO, we'll see what they can do. The answer is Jack Squat with Spotted Squid frozen in a place that they shouldn't have been frozen up, but Potatoizer just puts a few bullets right through the skull of Fafita there, gets 3-2 on the Death Blossom, and you see EXO turns into a turret there, and IUPUI gonna get a flip.
Yeah, they get a flip. They have to throw in a massive amount of ultimates to it, but they do get that flip. You know, in a fight they had no right in winning, right? They lost Spotted Squid so incredibly early, and now this Junker Queen's going to be able to get back in the fight, but you're worried about this Death Blossom, as well as Snippy is going to be able to anti-everybody up with this Rampage here. It really is going to come down to, can Spotted Squid build a counter in time?
The answer is no. The Death Blossom is big to follow up on the Rampage, and Fafita gets their get back onto Potatoizer, cleaning that up, and it will be arena towards Cogent.
Yeah, and that's a first point here, but again, IUPUI, I feel like you have a path to victory here depending on what point we have next, you know, if it's your advantage getting there first or not, because it really is just the sound barrier from CJ right now that is going to be versus Spotted Squid's Rampage, so those ultimates have to be timed almost in sync with each other, otherwise CJ is going to let the rest of Cogent sort of fall to the damage of that Junker Queen ultimate, and CJ just wastes the ult. Alright.
I want to soak that in for a second.
Just want to relish in it.
Okay, here we go. Spotted Squid has the Rampage ready to go. Now popping that shout out, but Shy gets cut down. I mean, the Carnage Axe is too much, and without that sound barrier, they won't be able to cancel out the Rampage here. Snippy gonna go down early, and I assume CJ Cool going to follow very, very soon. They're able to get the pick onto... They just are getting kills. They're just finding picks. And with Disero and Exo here in this fight, Fafita soon to return. Spotted Squid, there's just nothing that the Junker Queen can do. And Cogent
gets another good cap here.
I have no words.
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to the fact that, sure, the Rampage got off and antied a massive amount of the team, but, you know, the Junker Queen is so far out of position from helping the rest of the squad, the rest of IUPUI, so ended up falling by the wayside here, so it is going to be another forward hold from Cogent as they have a ton of ultimates to their name, and it could just be another quick fight for them here.
All right, yep, Blizzard out early, freezes up 2 there, and 42% is the mark now for Cogent, and I mean, they're just walking them down right now. Yeah,
it's beautiful Blizzard there from Exo. The Rampage from Snippy. Oh, like, this is a lot of BM that is occurring right now. But I mean, hey, I guess when you're this confident, you just can.
Yeah. I mean, that's just gonna be the point over the Cogent here. They have the Death Blossom and Fafita just kills 3. I mean, they're expecting it. They have the resources to win the fight, but Fafita pressing that ultimate, you know, one of the few that they haven't wasted. And Cogent moved to map match point.
Yeah, and so now you're seeing, you know, truly backs against the wall, waving the spawn room doors before Exo comes in to may wall them off. I feel like Exo is trying to corral a herd of angry togs right now on this May. Like, no, guys, you have to come this way. You can't just sit in the enemy spawns at all times. IUPUI over to the Malga, you know, as well as the Junkrat for Shy, a swap made a little bit ago. This is sort of just go into comfort picks, you know, throw something at the wall, let's see what sticks.
Maga enters the fray here, so we'll see if they're able to find something with this switch. Shy almost has a Riptide ready to go, but Lupin is going to enter the fight with the Coalescence here. Finding the healing, finding a little bit of damage. Disero going to answer with one of his own. Sound barrier from Teddy Graham is going to be good to keep the team very, very durable here, but it is a trade, unfortunately, for IUPUI. Cogent are happy to let this fight roll as long as they can let it, and they're just building up the percentage and pushing IUPUI back.
Yeah, it's a 4v4 fight. I feel like IUPUI could definitely get a little bit more aggressive, but they're seeming trepidatious now. Just a fearful of taking too much damage here. But you're Malga, right? Get in the front line, get in the face. Exactly what you need to be doing.
Cardiac Overdrive popped by Spotted Squid to try and keep this fight going, but it's not enough to keep Teddy Graham alive. It is once again a trade, however. Potatoizer dealing a lot of damage to Snippy. Sees the sound barrier from CJ Cool, and the backline only hits CJ Cool, who, once it is over, is very, very low, able to slide away, but it will be IUPUI finding the picks to get this flip here.
Yeah, and, you know, now it's just sort of backs against the wall, but you have a lot of ultimates to your name, right? Teddy Graham just invested the sound barrier. Everything else is either online or just about there. So as long as you're able to cycle these properly here, you can definitely get this point captured and then start building up your progress to try to get these points going in your favor, to not let this flashpoint map slip away.
All right, Cogent only need one more, and they've got a couple of really crazy ultimates. The first one will be the Blizzard, followed by the Rampage, and Snippy and the gang are happy to take this fight in, and the cage fight and the Riptide are only able to get one pick here. Coalescence from Lupin, able to keep the team steady, keep the team afloat. Can they punch a hole through through Cogent right now? We will see as the shout comes through. Lupin goes down. Overtime has begun. Snippy in a trap, staying alive with the help of Disaro, and I mean, the bleed is healing there for Snippy. Going to be able to keep this fight going, but for no longer, as IUPUI will be able to find the picks, and the last one to go down will be EXO.
Yeah, and Cogent actually, properly lost that fight. They had an advantage and they fumbled it. They let it go to waste. So big ups for IUPUI Bastion. We're now going to tick up towards 80% here, and heading into final fight, the only ultimate that we're going to have for this potential fight that's going to happen here on this point is going to be Teddy Graham's sound barrier is only a few percentage away.
All right, so there will be a touch here by CJ to keep this point alive, and with Shy going down early, and this Pharah from Fafita having been so dominant throughout the rest of this series, we'll see if they can take care of it. They're able to drop Snippy here. The trade comes through though for Bastion OnlyFans, but CJ is on a rampage right now. Spotted Squid, it's up to this Maga to do anything else here, and the flip gonna come through for Cogent. It's up to Shy to try and get this touch, but it's all alone. No touch in sight. Cogent, hog and ball torture. Get the sweep on New Junk City, get the sweep in the series, and they've solidified themselves in the grand finals.
Yeah, maybe not in the nicest way possible will be the way that happens, but they've won the game. They are heading on to that grand finals. IUPUI now going to be waiting in the lower bracket to see if they have to rematch up against Mythos Griffins, or if Emerald is gonna come and meet them there. But Cogent, they're head and shoulders above right now. There's a reason this team hasn't dropped a map all season.
Oh yeah, that was brutal, in a word, right? IUPUI, they definitely had their moments where they looked strong, they looked good, but it was just like Cogent. I'm struggling to find the right words to talk about this, because Cogent still, like I said earlier, have the training weights on, and they're not trying very hard, right? They think that they're better. They know that they are better, and I mean, you saw it right there. I mean, even in that last map, we got some more role swaps around, and once again, they just dominate. I mean, right now, I don't know that there is a team that can keep up with them.
Yeah, not here in NA Diamond at the very least. They truly are head and shoulders above. It's going to take a lot for any of our teams remaining to come through that lower bracket and try to give these guys a run for their money, because they now just stand one series away from a flawless season, and it's honestly crazy. Like, there's just no other words for it. This team is just that good.
Yeah, so their golden season continues. Still 0 maps dropped. I mean, the legendary status of this team very, very close to becoming solidified in CGL history. Yeah, what else can you say other than great season, great series by Cogent and IUPUI? I think that they're still fine. They'll be all right. They're not going to go out without a fight in the losers finals. I do think that they can, they beat Mythos before. I think that they could probably do it again. I guess it's up to them to decide if they want to do that, or if they're going to let this series break them, because, it's never easy when you know that a team is just playing with you, and you still get dominated. But moving forward, you just have to say, all right, Cogent was the better team today. We have to get into lab. We have to figure something out. We have to be better, right?
Mm-hmm.
So moving forward, I look forward to see how IUPUI rebounds from this loss.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out. But of course, they're still waiting on that first lower bracket game to be played for their opponent. But I mean, there's nothing else really to touch on here. NA Diamond, it is a smaller bracket. Only 4 teams made it in, and it's rapidly approaching its finale, if you will. So, it's going to be interesting to keep an eye on.
Yep. So once again, congratulations to Cogent, Hog, and Ball Torture on claiming the first spot in the Diamond Tier Grand Finals. And to IUPUI, they are top 3, but they want to keep this going. They want another shot at the King, and they can definitely get it. So congratulations to, well, I guess not congratulations, but I look forward to seeing how IUPUI moves forward. But that will do it for us tonight. Cogent 3-0 over IUPUI. Megalas, you have anything else to say before we go?
Toxicity is neat and should not go too far. Smile.
Yeah. So, hopefully we will get to see Cogent without the training weights in their grand final series, but God knows if we will. So I guess we will have to see. So that will do it for us tonight. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Have a good night, everyone.